What are the what? Did you see point up there?
The air vent up
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you.
there. Yeah.
For those who can't see, there's an air duct on the ceiling.
Yeah. I'm pointing up here, and the camera's like, "What do you mean? What is it? What is that?"
Yeah, like.
Yeah,
That's
like
funny.
where's the air vent?
So much creativity on the things you can't see.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why reading a book is so nice sometimes.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
you have to, if you're pointing off camera, you got to be able to explain kind of what it is so that people can understand. Otherwise, you're like that Budweiser sign over there. I don't know if that picks it up or not, but
There's also
that's
Budweiser.
a cool Budweiser sign over there, and someone's just like, "What's the Budweiser size?"
That's funny though.
Mm.
Yeah, there's also a really great Bud Light neon sign on your side. That's really great. It's on the top right corner, and it's right next to a fuse box. It's amazing, dude. It's beautiful.
It's so bright. Fucking
So
awesome.
are you talking about your games?
So, I was gonna play Miles Morales, and I played probably, I think I'm like 30, 34, 35%, whatever it is, in the middle of it. It's not a very long game, I know, because you can play one mission and then you go from you go up like 5% or whatever. So I was playing that a lot when I first got my PS5, but then
How were you on the list? Like, were you one of the first people to sign up on the list when they were allowed to?
so I was able to pre-order mine it wasn't the first night, I think it was the second night.
Oh.
And so yeah, it was the second night, because the first night I was trying to do it, but it was of course all full, and I went on every website, tried refresh. I didn't try it that long. I think I was busy at the time, and I just didn't want to keep trying it. It was, it's frustrating when you keep trying to fucking, go through. So, I was like, I'll try again tomorrow. I had to go to work, so I was trying it at work a little bit. Luckily, I had enough free time to kind of refresh and everything. And but I was also looking up information of how to pre-order it, because the way they did the pre-orders this time was different versus the PS4, and I think that's because of like the pandemic and everything.
How were they different? What was a little different about it?
So it was a lot more organized for like the PS4 when that came out. It was a lot easier. You had more options, I felt like, versus like picking up in store versus having it delivered. And the problem that PS5 had and the next gen was that it was not organized. And so some certain retailers, their pages went live before others. So like Walmart or Target or whatever went live a few hours before, like, say, Best Buy or Amazon. Amazon was actually, I think, one of the later ones to go online. And so, like, that's where I pre-ordered my PS4. And, it was nice because I had it just delivered right to my door day of. Didn't have to worry about it being late because, I mean...
Well, you know what I think a big difference, too, now is, though, is, like, with the PS5s and the next gens, like, people, like, even my age, like 25, that were, like, so much younger when the PlayStation 4 came out, didn't have the same jobs to afford those consoles.
Yeah.
So when those people show up in droves buying those consoles, and then you also have the kids and the moms who buy for their kids, think about the demand for the consoles, and it's like, how were they not ready for that? They should have expected that aging demographic to really make a difference in the market, and I didn't think that they foresaw that.
And I think there's just, because of gaming getting bigger and bigger, like, I feel like there's more players, there's more demand for it. And then just with everything going on, it's harder to meet that demand too. I know that's been a big issue. And then
I'm going conspiracy theory.
What's your conspiracy?
Everything's been real shitty since they've gotten them. What was that big game?
Which game? What is it?
Oh,
Cyberpunk. Yeah. Cyberpunk 2077.
Just shit on everyone.
So,
and then there's not that many games. And I've heard
that's every new console. They don't have that many games.
So, did you transferred all your data and shit from your PS4 to your PS5?
Yeah.
Did you have any issues?
No, I used I bought a 5 terabyte external hard drive.
Holy fuck!
It was on sale.
What the fuck more do you need for the rest of your life?
It holds a lot. It's great. So
1 terabyte's enough.
It was on sale. I think it was like 40% off. I think it was like $110, $120.
Oh, that's a fucking steal.
Yeah, it was a good deal.
Lit.
And
You're gonna be able to have your PlayStation 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games on that motherfucker.
and so, yeah, it's a lot.
Josh, leave some terabytes for the rest of us, okay?
So what I did before, because when I got it pre-ordered, I finally was able to, I was just refreshing on the page on Best Buy where I was able to finally pre-order it. I was trying to get the digital edition first because most of my games are digital. And so I was kind of up in the air about wanting to spend $100 more to get the disc version or, save that $100 and use it towards like games or controller, whatever. And so I was trying both of them, the digital and the disc version. And
on top of that, dude, what do you even think about digital versus disc? You said most of your games are digital,
yeah,
right? Do you think disc are in a way obsolete?
No, because one of the arguments versus disc versus digital is if you have the disc, you have the physical media and you own it, and you own it forever. If you have it at digital, you technically don't own it. You're basically renting the license. And so kind of an example like that, it's an okay example, but the game PT, it was a demo that was supposed to be kind of the demo for the new Silent Hill game that was going to come out. Mm-hmm. That whole thing, the developer got fired and they went their separate ways. Game got canceled. That game, you can't. So, it was on the store for a while, but when everything happened and they went their separate ways, the game got canceled, they took it off the PlayStation Store. You can't download it anymore. But if you downloaded it beforehand, you can still play it or whatever. I can't download that game on my PS5. I just can't. I could download it on my PS4, I think, but I can't on the PS5. And so I technically don't own that game, I guess, as far as I understand. So that's with digital, you technically don't own what you buy.
That's similar to that game again. When they took it off the PlayStation.
Yeah. And
it's like, so wow, if you bought it, even if, let's say you were enjoying that shitty game with all its bugs, you're like, yeah, I'm still having fun. And then one day you get on and they took it off.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we're going to refund you. How pissed would you be? Would you be mad?
Well, you could still.
He was so excited for that game, by the way. He was so, he didn't, so we were going to do a pod. He didn't want to do a pod because he's like, dude, I just want to stay home and play this game. So I was like, I feel bad now. Because I feel like I put the juju on him.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, I hope he fucking enjoys that stupid fucking game. And then all of a sudden, I'm seeing art. The next day we hung out. I'm like, dude, so how's that game?
So
it was buggy really bad.
Yeah, it still is. So
what's the
with
name of it again?
Cyberpunk 2077. So when they took it off, you can still play it if you had it downloaded and everything. But if you wanted to go buy it, and if you didn't have it, then you couldn't have downloaded it.
Oh, you could still play it? If you had it downloaded?
Yeah. It's still like I still have it installed and everything.
Oh, okay. I thought that they took it off like even if you had it installed. I was like, that's some
luckily
shit.
not. Luckily
that's some
not.
shit.
So, but what I've seen about it, I don't. Do you have it on the?
Just the Xbox. I have it on the Xbox One.
Xbox One. Okay.
And that's why a big reason why too.
Yeah. So on the last
yeah,
the last gen
on those
consoles, the PS4, PS4 Pro, Xbox One, One X, whatever it might be.
The pros weren't as bad though.
They're not as bad because they have better hardware. But I have it on the PS5, and it's buggy still, but it doesn't run nearly as bad as what like the original. If you have the base PlayStation 4, like the PlayStation 4 Slim, it could look real bad. There's like some versions that are some video clips I've seen are just images where it looks like a PS1 game because of the textures don't load, or it takes a while for the textures to load, and
I've played that.
Horrible. Yeah,
I've had that experience myself.
I have not, luckily. I haven't had too many bugs with it, but I also have not played it that much because going along with the Miles Morales too, like I was playing that, but then there's so many other games that I had to like beat that I was just in the middle of, and that just kind of like, I don't know. I don't like that feeling of having a ton of stuff and being in the middle of it, and so I just wanted to go back and complete the games that I was already in the middle of versus starting a new one. But
You've become overwhelmed with video games, haven't you? There's
Yeah.
too many you own.
Too many I own and less time to play them versus what I was used to be able to do, which is fine, but it's so I was like, now I'm in the middle of Miles Morales. So basically I just replaced one game for the other, but I was closer to beating some of the other ones. I'm like, I have to go back, beat those before I can, play the new one kind of thing. So there was like Modern Warfare campaign remastered, the Modern Warfare 2 campaign remastered. I beat that. I want to play The Last of Us Part 2 again. I already beat that once, but I want to do it again and get more of the trophies.
That's probably the most positive thing I've ever heard anyone say about that game, which I like. The people were getting pissed off about some stupid shit about that game.
Yeah. Okay. So
which I haven't played it yet.
That whole thing is a big, crazy misunderstanding, I think. So the game got leaked before it came out. It was leaked on 4chan, I believe. And the leaks were pretty controversial of when you read it and everything, because it was basically taken out of context. Like, you didn't get the full story. You didn't get to see it happen, which is a whole thing. If you're given a script on a movie, reading it versus watching it and seeing all the actions and how the movie comes together, it's a totally different experience. So you can have a not so great script, but then you see the visual effects and the music and everything on top of it, and it can make it a lot better movie. You can go the other way too, of course, but so people were already mad about that. There's a certain character in there that dies, and just killing that character alone made people mad, which from my point of view doesn't make sense, because it's not the story that you think of in your head. It's what the story, the ride that you go on, pretty much. People didn't like that part, so they're already mad about that. And then one of the new characters, she's built pretty, I guess, like physical, like she looks very strong, maybe a little masculine, with like her muscles and everything. So people were saying like, is she transsexual or whatever? So there's certain things about the game that people
in a fucking video game. God, people.
It's not, though. It's totally not. You have to, you can't judge it based on what people say about the game, because a lot of them are just haters for whatever reason. They don't like the PlayStation, or they don't like the last, they didn't like the first Last of Us, so they're, crapping on this one, whatever it might be. If you take the story for what it is, you play it and you think about the character choices and like the character development, it's an amazing game.
Oh yeah. That's why I took all of it with a grain of salt, because the first game is one of the best video stories ever.
Yeah.
Video game stories ever.
And this one it's a different journey, so I couldn't say that I like it more. I don't think it's quite as good as the first one, but it's still really good.
What an honest review.
It's still really good. And for being a PS4 game, it's one of the best looking games that I've ever played. And so like, it'll compare to a PS5 game. It's better looking than some PS5 games, I think.
Wow.
And it's, I don't know, I like it a lot, so I need to go back and play it again. What are some other ones getting right? Cyberpunk 2077. That I know that game. I'm kind of waiting for them to patch it before going back and
I would just
playing it all. But
you been playing any Warzone?
No, not really.
Not really, dude. That's the game, man. That's the game I'm addicted to right now.
See, so similar to how you heard bad things about The Last of Us 2, I just always hear bad things about Warzone, with it being, they have bugs, a lot of like, guns being broken and being buggy.
100%, and they're always lowering them.
Yeah.
Right. The DMR was one of them right now. The MAC-10.
Yeah.
But I think
And I always hear about players cheating because they don't have a good anti-cheat.
There was one today that when Sean was playing today, there was a guy running around in the storm, and apparently there's a stim hack. And that's upsetting because you're right. You got a good point there.
So he was running in the storm and didn't go in the circle at all. And you're telling me once the circle killed the other guy, he just lived?
Yeah. So they had a bounty on this guy, and all of a sudden he hops in a car and all the Warlike, Sean, Groovy, and Tom were playing today. Shout out to the boys. And this guy gets in the fucking car, gone in the storm. And Sean was confused at first. He's like, "Oh my god, this guy's just running in a storm. He's gonna kill himself."
He'd rather kill himself than be killed by the squad.
Yeah, that's what Groovy thought. That's what Warlike thought. Well, then all of a sudden,
Coward.
Yeah, pussy. Yeah, but then all of a sudden, some time went by, and they're like, "He's still fucking alive in there." And then that's when they're like, "Oh, he's gotta be hacking," and then they found out.
I also seen. I think it's pretty sure it's patched now, but there's a invisibility glitch. Where
what the fuck Harry Potter bullshit is this?
Yeah, the player would be invisible to the other person playing. Of course, they can see everything, and so there'd just be like a guy at the end who.
Sean needs to cut me some fucking slack, man.
Like, just say it's cheaters. Those fucking cheaters. I got killed by someone who's invisible.
And I never have excuses, blood. Schmitty never have excuses, and I get said I'm like I get told I'm the shit player all the time. Look what's happening. There's cheaters and shit out there.
Exactly.
You can't beat that.
Yeah, just say it's definitely a cheater.
Sean, get out the fucking PC and just get a. Is that well? I guess it's on all mod.
Yeah,
fuck.
That's one of the bad thing. One of the few bad things about cross-platform is just
fuck those hackers.
You open up to hackers because on PC it's a lot easier to hack on a PC than it is versus a PlayStation or an Xbox. So. Mm-hmm. It's one of the few things about cross-platform, but it's just one of the things you kind of have to live with.
Did they have that problem with Battlefield?
It's not cross-platform yet.
Oh, so when that day comes, it's over.
The new one will be, but see, like if you have a good anti-cheat, you don't see it that often. I don't hear about it too much in Fortnite versus Warzone. It's because Warzone, and I don't know why.
You hated Fortnite.
I liked it at first.
Yeah, we played it for a little bit, and then you hated it.
Yeah.
I still like it. I go in and play sometimes. It's
People take it way too seriously. Yeah. Like I like being competitive, but I don't know. Maybe it's just because I wasn't that good at it and it got frustrating. But seeing like there's something about the building where people you start shooting with them and everything, and then they just build this crazy tower, and I'm just like, you're fucking running away, like quit running. Yeah. And so. That was frustrating to me.
Well, that's how people feel in the UFC when it comes to really good wrestling.
Yeah.
They're like, sons of bitches, get off me. And then it's like, well, get better at building or get better at wrestling.
There's different levels to it.
Yeah, levels to the game.
And
that's a different game.
I was way further down at the
Building's what made Fortnite.
Yeah. Oh, true. Without it, it's not the same game. But
you have to learn how to build just as well as shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah. What up, everybody? We're late on this. Episode 19. Longtime friend Josh Resetarits. Resetarits.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, about time. Mm-hmm. About time, man.
It's been honored to have you on the show, brother.
Thank you. Yeah.
Brother, you're one of my longest friends.
Mm-hmm.
And what's fun about this guy, guys, is we didn't like each other when we first grew up. Itty bitty guys.
Yeah, elementary school.
Yeah, elementary school.
Into 7th grade, 8th grade, we had more classes together.
6th grade, I think, is what we didn't have any classes together until 6th grade in elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to say, even though we hated each other, that's when our friendship started. We just didn't know it yet.
It was an unwarranted hatred, I guess. Not hatred, just not friends, I guess.
It's funny that kids do that. Growing up, you just don't like certain people, or not even not like them. You just don't talk to them for certain reasons.
Yeah, and that could have been just because we didn't have any classes together.
Yeah, 100%.
We would only see each other, I guess, at lunch and recess, I guess.
Yeah, and I'm not going to drop his name, but you hung out with a little guy that thought he was bigger than what he was.
True.
And I didn't like that guy. And so you were affiliated with them. So I was like, fuck that whole squad.
And I guess also at that time, you also were affiliated with someone that I didn't like. So.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We should have clashed. Would have been a banger. Would have been a cracker.
But starting in 8th grade, we had
I wouldn't have wanted to have it any other way.
Yeah, exactly. We wouldn't be here today. Who knows? But in 6th grade, we had the same class together, and we had a mutual friend in there. And yeah, we kind of
commenting on this pod today. He's like, that was me.
And that kind of brought us together, I guess, because then we had a shared friend, and we would talk more because we all sat together. I think
all the time,
as much as we could.
And then I was pissed because in 6th grade we had to do this overnight thing where you had to stay 24 hours. It was like an event.
Yeah, we stayed overnight.
Yeah, I was enjoying it, right? I go with Jake. I'm like, yeah, dude, we're going to go. Well, then last minute he's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to meet you up there with Josh. I'm like, oh, okay. And I was like, okay, because you and Jake were, oh, shit, I said it. Sorry.
I don't,
and
it's okay.
Yeah, you guys were hanging out all the time, and me and Jake were hanging out all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I became good friends with him. And then, so we did this bubble reading thing. We're doing some other craft shit. Watching movies.
Yeah, we were watching the movie to go along with the book.
Yeah. Chad Kreutz was there. Shout out Chad.
Is Chad also commentated?
No, I don't even think he knows. He might know. I think he knows about it because we're friends on Facebook. I mean, Instagram. But, yeah. But he was there. But, yeah, we're having a lot of the time. And it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, and then they dip. And him and Jake dip, and they dip without me.
And
I had no one. I had no one left there. I hung out with the teacher for the rest of the night.
No. You were one of those kids.
I was one of those kids.
It got really boring. And so we were like, what, at that time, I think it was Halo or whatever. We were like, should we stay here, be bored the rest of the night, or we can go back to my house and play some Halo, or whatever game it was. And so we're like, yeah, we're gonna do that. So I called my mom. I had a cell phone at that time, so I called my mom, and she's like, I told her like, me and Jake, we wanna leave. We're bored. And
cell phone in 6th grade, that kid.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was one of those guys. And so yeah, she came pick us up. We probably stayed up all night playing video games.
Meanwhile, I was like, fuck, I hate it here now. This sucks.
This is all coming back to video games.
Yeah, it is. Well, because, we grew up playing video games together.
Mm-hmm.
We were fucking badasses in Call of Duty. I wish I could get that back and be a pro streamer and make millions of dollars gaming. That'd be lit.
And what would that be? 8th grade, 9th grade? Call of Duty 4, whenever that came out.
Call of Duty 4 was 9th grade.
I remember just being at the lunch table, and you and others would just be basically talking about your prestige level and talking about Call of Duty from the night before, and I didn't have high-speed internet at the time, so I couldn't play, and I'm just like,
shout out dial-up.
Yeah, fuck dial-up. And I didn't play as many video games back then because I was playing baseball or whatever. I was busy with that.
You were doing man things while I was being a little game nerd.
Yeah, and so I would always be like, these
big
nerds.
Game nerd.
But in reality, I was also jealous at the same time because I wanted to play, but I couldn't.
I do remember your transition, dude. It's weird.
I didn't really play Call of Duty 4 online that much, other than at your house.
Which one was it that brought you into that? Were like, boom, you were the first time you got to 10th Prestige.
I never got into 10th Prestige.
Did you?
Because I would stop
prestiging.
prestiging.
Yeah, you didn't.
I would usually find an emblem or whatever or prestige that I liked and stay there once I had the
we're
stuff.
Like old men talking about video games. What the fuck?
Back in my day.
Yeah.
But I think it was World at War was out when I first got high speed internet, and I would play with a few people or whatever. But a lot of people were also playing Call of Duty 4 still, and I think at that time, since I didn't have high speed internet, I didn't have the game because I had rented it, beaten the campaign, and then I couldn't play online, so I never got it. And then when I did get it, it was like the next year when the new Call of Duty came out, and people were playing that. So I did play Call of Duty 4 with you guys, but not a ton really.
But dude, Shout out to Call of Duty World at War, right? That's
Yes.
the first one that brought Nazi zombies into the game,
Yeah,
too, man.
yeah, it was a great
Shout
game.
out
The first
Call
zombies
of
game?
Duty World at War.
Yeah.
That was I liked Call of Duty World at War more than Call of Duty 4.
I did not.
Dude,
It was a
and
good
you
game,
could blow
but-
limbs off in the game. That was a fun ass game, dude.
I'll never forget the first time you go over to someone's house. And I went over to Dan's and played Call of Duty Modern Warfare
Mhm.
online. I was like, you guys are playing. This is all. I was like a bird turned its head. I'm like, what?
I used to.
This is sick as fuck. I was like, this is sick as fuck.
I used to go over to one of my friend's house that lived in my neighborhood, and he had high-speed internet, and we would play Call of Duty 2 online.
Oh my god.
We would take turns playing Call of Duty 2,
Yeah.
and we would also do a split screen with the 3 or 4 of us, and that was a lot of fun. That was the first time I played Call of Duty online, and it was probably one of the first Call of Duties that you could play online, and it was awesome. It was a lot of fun.
We used to play. He would always piss me off in sports games too. I wouldn't even play sports games with Josh. Fucker would beat me in literally everything.
NBA.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that was NBA, Madden. a
Yeah,
little
I
bit.
would never touch baseball. I wouldn't fucking touch baseball games with you. Never in a million years. And then I did. It's funny because back in the day, I would always play football games. Those were like my favorite.
Yeah, Madden was fun.
I don't know what changed me so much. I see like memories on my Facebook and shit where I was like such a footballs fan. Like, I hate football today. Like I don't. Yeah.
You just grown to not like it.
Yeah. UFC took over me.
Yeah.
It's what I love. There's no other better sport.
Dude, if you love UFC though, because it's so badass, right? Because it's badass. Football players are badasses.
Yeah.
Those are all badasses on that field. Every
Yeah.
time someone makes a touchdown or
Not
does
saying they're not.
something, I'm just like, imagine just an average Joe trying to be on that field. Get smashed.
One thing I don't like about football
I
is
love a Rudy movie.
Rudy. One thing I don't like about football is a lot of the stopping and starting. With watching on TV, it kind of can be at time not boring, but just you can lose intention in it because it's I don't know.
My favorite
that type
times in
of-
football are when they fight, and I'm like, okay, yeah.
when they fight. That didn't happen, no. But Madden, and then we used to play UFC, and play UFC a lot, and I used to be pretty good at those, I think, and I think what other sports games, pretty much just that, I guess, NBA, Madden, UFC.
Yeah.
Now you can beat me in UFC for sure.
Yeah, UFC's my shit. Except Warlike. Warlike's pretty damn good. Warlike's got me on that one.
Mm-hmm. I forgot what I was gonna say.
It's okay. We were talking about video games. Anything else on video games?
What's like the first video game experience that you would consider like the realest? Because mine personally would be playing Halo with this guy and making sure we went normal, we went every difficulty level to get the whole collection of it.
First ever Halo.
Mm-hmm.
And then I still remember getting to the last legendary level.
Yeah.
We had strategies where one of us would stay, the other would run and get wrecked trying to kill some aliens, and then respawn and the other guy would go. And that was probably the most fun, dude.
Dude, what if in the future video games get so cool that they bring back the first Halo game, but we can actually like play in it,
Like VR.
like VR, but really good VR, like your little Ready Player One movie.
It could happen,
That'd be sick.
but it would have. I mean,
Speaking of Halo, though, dude, did you see that? So, Grand Theft Auto, when the fuck is the next one gonna come out? Ever?
probably not for a few years, I would
Yeah.
think.
But guess I read this article. Is the new Halo gonna be like Grand Theft Auto?
What do you mean?
Is it Halo Infinite? Is it supposed to be a huge like open world map, and then like it's gonna be similar to Grand Theft Auto style, like?
I hope not. I haven't heard too much about it. I'd seen that
Because
they
apparently
delayed the game.
apparently it's the last Halo game, right?
I haven't heard that.
You haven't heard that?
Mm-mm.
I think.
I haven't heard that much Halo news, but
Yeah.
from what I heard, the trailer that they had, people were dogging
My
on-
video game guy.
Sorry, I haven't been keeping up with the Halo.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
But from what I heard, the Halo trailer that they showed at think E3 or whatever, people were dogging on it a lot because it didn't look that good. And so there's been some uncertainty, I think, in their studio or whatever, and they delayed the game.
Yeah, there's a
and
lot going on with it.
I hope it's good, but
Who knows?
I miss Bungie making the game.
Yeah,
It's not the same game anymore.
it's not.
Not as good. But my first, but you were talking about, Brennan, first like real game, and just awesome memory was probably Halo 2, like Halo 2, not Halo 2, but Halo. We play again. Went over to that friend's house and we would play split screen, and I think we played Halo 1, Halo 2, and then a little bit of Halo 3 like that. And we used to have Warthog Wars, is what we would call it.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, you just drive the Warthogs into each other. When you crash into them, they just like go crazy, crash and be flipping everywhere. And we would like take them off ramps and crash them into each other. We were basically just trying to crash them into each other in most creative ways possible. But it was a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. And then we would have sticky grenade wars. And so we would have the 4 of us or 3 of us, and we would just kind of like come together in a circle, and then just try and stick each other with the sticky grenades, and that was a lot of fun too. It was hard.
Oh yeah, we would do that shit all the time.
Yeah.
Split screen Halo was OG.
Yeah.
What was yours again? Yours was Halo as well?
Yeah, mine was the end mission where you have to drive with a Warthog and you had the
Yeah.
rocket
yeah.
launcher, and there was that time, and dude, that was so hard.
I'm more OG than you guys. My first ever like badass game that I ever loved was Zelda. It was like the Ocarina of Time or some shit,
Mm-hmm.
where you played this fucking thing and you had to go save the princess. That was my shit. That and Mario.
I've actually not played much Zelda at all.
Yeah, Zelda was my shit. Oh, growing up, that if I can remember anything, the first video game was playing Zelda, and I was obsessed with Zelda. I had to beat it and shit,
Mm-hmm.
and I always felt cool because my aunt was impressed because she would play it, and she had a hard time playing it, and I'd always be like, "Oh, you just do this," and she'd be like, "Oh wow," and I'd be like,
I remember playing the earliest game I remember playing is Top Gun on the original Nintendo at my grandma's house. She had it in her basement, and anytime we had family get-togethers, we'd go down to her house, and I remember just wanting to go down to the basement and play. Like they had an old like console TV, like the speakers and everything was that built into one.
Did it have a dial?
Yeah, I had the dial, and we used to play Nintendo on there. I think there was Super Mario and Top Gun. She didn't have that many games, but I love the Top Gun game. That's that's the one I remember most. So I probably liked it more than Mario. I don't know why, but it was that was a fun game. Though. I just remember that we would get there, and I'd just be like, I'm gonna go downstairs now.
Did you ever play 007, the James Bond Nintendo 64 game?
That
was our shit.
Like GoldenEye.
Yeah. Or no, it was just was it GoldenEye?
GoldenEye is the one that's like everyone talks about as being.
Yeah, we've been friends since the Nintendo 64 days, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah. Dude, in the wrestling game, what was that called?
WWE versus WEC.
Hmm.
Because I think it was called some WFC versus WNC or something. Because they were two different before they merged.
Right.
We felt so cool playing that game because we would just beat the fuck out of each other. We would get shit from the audience, and it'd be random items. You just beat the shit out of each other. The guys were tough. Those were good times.
Yeah. The wrestling games were fun back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Back when I watched wrestling.
Yeah.
But
and the Tony Hawk games.
I didn't have a Nintendo 64. So
You never had a Nintendo 64?
No.
You were playing sports.
Yeah.
Doing your thing.
Yeah. I played a little bit of GoldenEye at a friend's house and Star Fox.
Oh yeah, Star Fox was
Star
lit.
Fox was
We love Star
awesome.
Fox. Oh yeah. Brendan really liked that game.
Mm. See, I have really never owned a Nintendo console.
Really?
I've always been either PlayStation for sure and Xbox. I had the original and 360 and the Xbox One, but PlayStation's kind of always been my one that I've had the most, like my favorite consoles.
I had a lot of fun with the Nintendo GameCube. I had one of those. and they had some badass Mario games.
Yeah.
They had some awesome NASCAR games, and Need for Speed was lit back on the Nintendo GameCube, and there was like this Pikmin game that was lit. Brendan had a Nintendo Wii, dude. That shit was lit.
Yeah, my mom actually has a Wii.
Dude, there was like the Mario Olympics, Summer Olympics. And then, obviously the bowling. If you didn't like the games that came with the Wii, you're crazy because the boxing.
That's like the only games I play.
Dude, you could play those for hours.
Yeah.
Then there were some cool like brain memorizing games that Brendan had that were sick. There was a bunch of cool stuff that the Wii had.
Mm-hmm.
I would get the Switch. I almost got it for my mom for Christmas because she loves Nintendo. Because I wish I could play Zelda more, and that's where you'd have to play it.
Yeah, I heard the new one, or the newest one, is a lot of fun. It's a really good game.
I can't imagine. It's like, damn, why can't we just all get along with this gaming license shit? Imagine a Zelda game on a PlayStation 4 or 5 that's lit.
See, but then
looks really cool.
No one would buy it for Nintendo, I feel like. Because
that would kill the company.
Nintendo.
A company deserves their own properties.
Yeah,
right?
Nintendo is all about their
That's big for them.
exclusives. Zelda.
You can't take that away from those guys.
It just sucks. Imagine a dope ass like Mario game that looked cool. Like, okay, Nintendo. Then why? I know, but like that looks not Nintendo-y.
Then it would.
If
it didn't look Nintendo-y.
We get fucking paper Mario.
I don't really play Mario games.
Yeah, neither do I anymore. I was just saying when I was a kid,
I did see. I was just thinking of Nintendo. I did see an article that Microsoft, when they were first starting up, I think before they were making the Xbox, they tried to purchase Nintendo, and Nintendo just laughed at them.
Oh.
They just laughed them out of the room, essentially. Like, we're not selling to you. You guys don't even make video games.
Mm-hmm.
It was just funny, but now that they're, competing against each other and everything, right neck and neck.
Yeah. Did you hear about that guy that was killed recently? I don't know was it about video games or was it about a Star Wars license or was it about a Game of Thrones? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I didn't hear about that.
I shouldn't have brought it up if I didn't know that much about it. But if I remember correctly,
you just seen it and you're like,
yeah, this dude was killed over in like China. They think he was poisoned, and I'm pretty sure. You know what? I think it was the Game of Thrones show. It was the Game of Thrones
he was
show.
killed over the Game of Thrones show.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, for some reason.
That's such a. I didn't hear about that.
Yeah.
But it's China.
Maybe I'm wrong.
So.
Maybe I'm tripping. Again.
He had the alternate ending. To the last season. And they had to kill him because it was too dangerous to be left out in the public.
I want to see that because the last season sucked. Well, the first couple episodes weren't that bad, but then it just went straight off the cliff, and
it breaks my heart even talk. Like I don't even like. It's like talking about an ex-girlfriend. You just don't do it. You don't fucking talk.
Just bad memories there.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Isn't that a shame that Game of Thrones had to be like that? Again, like some bad relationships. Like, damn, it had to be like that.
You know what sucks and what really hurts is the creators. They were gonna make a Star Wars series, and I am almost certain that
it would have been horrible.
Well, it got canceled.
Yeah. Thank God.
But they were going to make that Star Wars series, and so they basically just quit on Game of Thrones to focus on Star Wars. Basically just...
Why would you do that? Why would you do that to your baby?
It wasn't their baby, apparently. Or they got tired of it, and they were just kicked it out.
So you have a baby with a woman, and then you and that woman get divorced, and then you go marry another woman who already has a baby, and then you just say, fuck your baby?
That was Game of Thrones.
That was fucking Game of Thrones people. Fuck those guys.
It was that. I think it was that, and... So George R.R. Martin, hasn't finished the books, and so they didn't have that full source material. They just had like bullet points to kind of hit.
Think that those final books are ever coming out?
Maybe. I feel like the next one will. Mm-hmm. But George R.R. Martin's old,
Josh.
And we could see to where like it's. This family will go through the hidden, his files or whatever and find like he wrote most of the book or they had transcripts or whatever and they'll finish it that way. But I don't know. It's been so long and he's got so much money now. I don't know if he has and the show's over. His ending, from as far as I know, was basically pretty close to the ending that he wanted. So it's like, I don't feel like he doesn't have as much passion or drive to want to finish it now as he did in the past.
How sad would it be if like these guys were shitting on these co-writers of Game of Thrones actually are the best guys in the world, and they're like we gotta help George R.R. Martin finish his book, and they're like slaving away like George, we got you, and he's like, I just don't know how to finish it.
Some of that stuff, it feels like it was never when they wrote it, no one ever like looked it over, proofread it, had any suggestions that they fixed.
Yeah.
It just felt like it rushed.
We're gonna move on. We're gonna rush and move on to another subject because I don't even want to talk about Game of Thrones.
I know, right?
Let's finish off because we only got a little bit of time. Let's talk about some UFC talk.
Yes.
Let's get some. Because freaking damn it, it's been how many weeks? I don't know.
I think 3 or 4 weeks, but it feels like it's been longer.
Forever. It feels like forever since there's been UFC fights. Thank you, Joe Rogan. Thank you. Thank you, baby Joe Rogan, for bringing these fights to us this weekend. They're going to be great.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead and talk about these cards. And then we're also going to let's do our top, because we're running out of time. We don't have much. Let's do our top 5 fighters to look out for this year. Okay? So let's start out with that.
So it's just like top one, or just no order?
I don't think there's an order because they're all different weight. They could be all different weight classes and everything. So there's a lot to that. So why don't we just all talk about who we believe are the 5 people that we think?
Okay. So
and you start with yours.
So I'm gonna go with the first one. This is no particular order, like you said, but Cyril Gane. He's a heavyweight.
Ooh.
Just beat JDS.
Yep.
He is 7-0, number 7th ranked, and he's now 4-0 in the UFC.
Yeah.
I think he's all finishes.
Yeah.
And he was originally got a Muay Thai background, and he was a Muay Thai champ.
Mm-hmm.
But he's got 2 of his 4 UFC wins have been by submission, and so
that is always cool when guys are doing shit.
Yeah, and so I feel like he's rounding out his game. He's learning. He's like I say, he's only got 7 fights, but the way he looked versus JDS, former champ.
Now hold on, that fight wasn't JDS. Remind me, because JDS has been kind of rocky here lately, and he's going out. Let's be real here. In fact, wasn't that could be his last fight? What are we talking? He says it's
maybe
not.
in the UFC.
He's frustrated about something right now. Oh, he's frustrated about the decision of that fight.
Yeah. So
he was doing okay.
Yeah.
And then he got and that's right. He thought he got clipped behind the head.
Yeah. So Cyril Gane.
Damn.
I think JDS, if I remember correctly, was hurt a little bit, and so JDS does this thing sometimes when he's hurt or during a fight. He kind of turns his back and to circle away from his opponent, and he was doing that, but he was right up against the cage. He didn't have anywhere to go really, and so he's turned, and Cyril Gane hit him with the right elbow, but it hit him right behind the back of the ear.
That's right.
But JDS got knocked out from it, and so he was arguing that it was to the back of the head. But the replays, I think, pretty clearly shows it was to the back of the ear, which is legal. And so he's been really up in arms about that, where everyone else, I feel like, is like, no, JDS, it was behind your ear, bro. Like, it was a legal strike. But, yeah, he's been upset about that.
Does your boy have an upcoming fight? Or was that wasn't that long ago?
No. I don't remember exactly when it was, but it's just a few months ago. So I don't believe he does. Not yet. But... Sure. With the way the heavyweight division is, like if you win 4 or 5 in a row, that's why I love the heavyweights. Title shot, like so.
Who's your next guy?
Next guy, I'd go with Jimmy Crute.
Oh yeah, Jimmy, and he's actually got a fight coming up with Johnny Walker, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is gonna be an awesome fight.
Yeah.
Jimmy Crute is
a fucking badass.
Yeah, he's and when I was looking through my list initially of like picking guys, he's one I left off initially, but then I looked back through. He's 12-1.
Yeah, dude. Young.
Young. He's only I think 24, 25.
No, how many fights? He's had a lot of fights in the UFC.
Yeah, he's had where's that? 5 UFC fights.
Yeah.
But man, like he's got more. It seems like he's been around longer than he actually has.
Yeah.
And
he improves every fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's an all-around well fighter.
Yep. And the only guy he lost to was Misha. I can't say his last name.
It's okay.
Misha.
Misha's enough.
And he's had a ton of fights in the UFC and everything. So he was like 23 years old going against this guy that's had like 30, 40 fights or whatever it was. He's got a lot of fights. And
that's why I liked Alexander Hernandez so much when he came storming in against Beneil Dariush. Just fucking wrecked him.
Until he got Cerrone.
Yeah, dude, Alexander looked amazing in his last fight. He pieced that dude the fuck up.
True.
I forget who it was.
Same.
He was landing those shots, baby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Jimmy Crute's a good one, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Who's next?
Next one, I'm going to go with Bryce Mitchell.
Son of a bitch, that was one of mine. Bryce Mitchell was one of mine.
Bryce is another guy that seems like he's been around longer than he really has.
Mm-hmm.
He was on, I think, like a good reason why is because he was on The Ultimate Fighter,
and he was weird because he was the fun guy on there.
Yeah,
he was the fun guy.
He's got a very interesting personality, and he just
making bow and arrows and shit.
Yeah, he's
ripping his nutsack off when he gets out of The Ultimate Fighter.
No. Oh god, that hurts.
Yeah,
but he's just. I think he's got an infectious personality because he's just himself. Like,
give me my shorts.
Yeah,
Reebok.
Camo shorts.
And the way he tweets out and he spells things wrong, it drives me insane. I'm like, oh, it's his personality.
Yeah. But his grappling's awesome, and
dude,
he's just fun to watch.
What's that submission called? That he's gotten the Twister.
The Twister, yeah. One of two guys that only get it in the UFC.
He's deadly with it, dude.
Yeah. He tried it in his last fight a couple times. I'm pretty sure. And
Bryce Mitchell's coming for that belt.
Yeah, I think he's number 14th ranked. So like few fights, he's in the top 10.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Which could happen this year.
Yeah, watch out. Yeah, seriously. Who's next?
Let's see. I'm gonna go with Kevin Holland.
Son of a bitch, that's another one of mine. But that's okay. I got a couple more.
It's hard to not say Kevin Holland, even though he broke out technically in 2020 with 5 wins, all 5 of his fights. And his last one, the way he knocked out Jacare.
Dude.
Jacare's a legend.
Yeah.
He knocks him out from his back.
While talking shit.
Yeah. I mean,
what? Bam!
He's fun to watch. He talks a lot. And he's another guy, kind of infectious personality. I guess one way or the other, maybe if you don't like the talk. But
and then he calls out the guy that no one else is calling out when he calls out Hamzat.
Yeah. I mean, he'll fight anyone.
Besides Leon.
He talked shit on Izzy too. Whenever when Izzy was cage side and he went up to him and he was like, "Man, come
I don't know about that one though." And then another one from St. Louis, Joaquin Buckley.
Oh.
Buckley he's 12-3, so good record. But in his last 2 UFC fights, both knockouts, and then the spinning wheel kick. I believe when he caught the kick.
That shit was insane.
One of the craziest knockouts I've ever seen.
Oh my god!
It was
like insane. Anderson Silva amplified.
And the way, and another part of the breakout I think from it is just the attention that he got from that kick.
Oh yeah.
Everyone was talking about it. It was all over, ESPN, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever it was.
Yep.
And then his next performance, he had a great performance.
They were calling it KO of the year at the time.
Yeah, it was my knockout of the year. It was crazy.
It was.
And but in his last fight, he still looked really good. He won by knockout, and it wasn't too long after that, so it's still like a lot of pressure. I feel like for him, but he delivered, and so I feel like if he has a good 2020, his name's just gonna get more. Or 2021, his name's gonna be.
Especially imagine if he has another viral knockout.
Yeah.
It'll be insane.
Him versus James Krause. They've been talking a lot of smack. James
and they're both from Missouri here.
Yeah. Apparently
sick.
James Krause, I think he doesn't like the way Joaquin Buckley trains or whatnot. There's something about that he does not like.
That's interesting. That's fun.
And James Krause, he's been around for a long time. Yeah. Great fighter.
Cool guy.
So if we get that fight,
trains what? How not that far from here.
No, and he trains. He's really big into coaching. That's why Cross doesn't fight like a ton, each year or whatnot. But he's a great fighter. So if we get that fight, that could be a big fight. Especially as a hardcore UFC fan, because I like both those guys. They're pretty awesome.
Who's your last one?
Last one. Someone that I know you guys probably don't have, but I think he's got an exciting style. Giga Chikadze.
I can't think of him off the dome.
Chikadze, he's a kickboxer. He's got a karate style. I think he's lightweight. Pretty sure. Lightweight.
Who did he last fight? Do you remember?
I do not remember.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
5-0
tough,
in the
dude. There's so
UFC.
many fucking fights last year.
5-0 in the UFC. He's got a like I say, he's kickboxing background. Fought in Glory Kickboxing, and he's got a karate style, I believe.
Well, yeah, you were right about one thing. We definitely didn't have him on our list.
Exactly, and that's why I wanted to mention it because I think he's really exciting to watch. So keep an eye out for Giga.
All right. Let me do my 5, and I'll run through it quick because we're running out of time. My number 1, even though it's not in order, Sean O'Malley.
Gotta have Sean on there.
And he's number 1. You motherfucking cocksuckers.
I didn't want to mention it because I knew you had to mention it.
No. I'm saying motherfucking cocksuckers to people who think that like an injury is gonna stop someone like Sean O'Malley. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I hate when people attack. Like, people don't like when people handle losses the way that he's handling it. But he's talking about walking around undefeated because he doesn't want to hold a loss over his head and be down. You know what I mean? It's staying in that champ mindset. It's staying in that, well, yeah, I lost, but nothing's going to fucking stop me from getting to the top. And when you're piecing a dude up and then you get hurt, it sucks. It's an unfortunate event.
It was a competitive fight up to that point.
Yeah.
And
Sean was just starting to get them cracks in.
Marlon he's a great fighter. Like there's nothing, the loss sucks, but you also have to look at the way you lost. Like I said, it's the injury. So he's going to be back. He's going to be stronger than ever.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. If you think Sean O'Malley's going, like, he's coming for that fucking belt.
Yeah.
And I can't wait. He brings so much. He brings that. He's just got that it factor and bringing all that energy. Just the way he walks around. Like, it's Sean O'Malley. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's got that swagger,
that
swag.
And he doesn't even have to try. That's the thing. It's there.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's going to be really funny because in 2 Sean O'Malley fights from now, it's going to be a whole different fucking ball game with all these fucking haters.
Yeah.
It's going to be a completely, and I can't wait.
I think that's why there's so many haters because he is so popular already.
Exactly.
That, people want to hate on it.
Exactly. So, yeah, Sean ain't going nowhere. He's coming in hot and he's going to fucking get that belt. So, numero uno, Sean O'Malley. Number 2, Islam. Khabib's dude.
Yeah.
Islam is a fucking monster. And he was supposed to fight. I forget what happened. I don't know if it was COVID or an injury. Might have been COVID. Probably COVID.
I think it was an injury.
Oh, it was an injury?
Yeah, because he was supposed to fight coming up soon.
Yeah. But when he comes back, I think he's going to be the one. It's like a pass down from Khabib to him.
Those guys that train with Khabib, they're
a different
they're no
breed.
joke. They're real good.
They're a different breed. All right, and then I got Zabit. And then there's another person. I know I'm picking people who have kind of had some bad luck with their fights, but when those fights do get coming, they're on their way.
Yeah, Zabit's a beast. You can't say anything more.
Yeah, and then Hakeem. I don't even know how to say his name. I might have said that wrong. Duwadadi?
Yeah.
Dabadubi? Yeah.
I might have mispronounced.
And again, 3 times in a row. He's supposed to fight on the counter card, but he got out. But again, that dude's insane.
Mm-hmm.
He's a fucking beast. He reminds me, he has that Usman effect with me. Like, you just know, you're like, oh, that's a kind of he's going to be a champ one day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I got him. And then you named my other 2. So, yeah, what's your top 5?
Okay, I'm going to run through mine as well.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to start off with my first one, Alexander Romanov, who is a heavyweight. And his last fight, get this, he submitted the dude with his forearm, just laying.
Okay. Now you're ringing a bell.
He just laid his forearm on and used his weight, and the guy went out like a light, dude. I was like, this guy is smart, and he utilizes his weight in a smart way. It was inventive, and I'm,
was it embarrassing for the other guy?
Yeah, pretty fucking bad.
Dude, I'm rooting for this guy. I'm seeing a killer there.
Okay.
So that was my 5. Number 4 is going to be Khamzat Chimaev.
Of course.
So I'll put him on there.
We gotta have him on the list.
And then I put after him is Jamahil Hill. Jamahil Hill.
Light heavyweight.
Jamahil Hill.
He's light heavyweight.
Yeah, he's a light heavyweight.
Sorry, guys. If they ever watch this.
And he fought OSP just recently.
He looked real good.
OSP's a badass, and you piece him up and you look good.
And
you've been looking good consistently. Yeah,
OSP
so
's a
I'm sorry
vet.
for mispronouncing your name, Mr. Hill, but you're a badass. I just like the last name. He's smart. Mr. Hill's a boss. And then after him, I had Kevin Holland. So we all had him. And my number one, I'm going to go here, switch it up with the women's, Amanda Ribas. Or Ribas. Amanda Ribas. That's her last name. Yeah, she was looking like a boss because her last fights were against Van Zant was the most recent. Maybe not the biggest test, but still, it's not no offense.
Zant?
I'm not, but she has been beaten before.
Sorry, Paige.
How long ago was that?
And then
Not that long ago.
Ronda Marcos before that she beat.
Okay.
And she beat both of them and she beat Van Zant second round submission, I'm pretty sure. But
Respect.
yeah, both those fights dominant, and I think she could be. I'm stamping it now. I'm gonna stamp it now right here on the pod.
All right.
She's gonna be champ in the next 2 years.
Okay. I respect that.
Yeah, that's what I'm
If
calling.
it happens, we'll come back. We'll be like, he said it on the fucking pod.
Yeah, prediction.
All right. So we got to end it. So let's end it on this. Who wins? Holloway, Cater, this weekend.
I'm gonna go with Holloway.
You're going with Holloway.
Yeah, I felt like he beat Volkanovski in his last fight, and he looked great. And so I think he's going to continue that, and he's going to beat Cater. Cater's real good, though, but I think Holloway beats him.
It's hard to doubt Max, isn't it?
Exactly.
How can you doubt Max Holloway?
He's been around for so long. Every fight he has, he looks good.
The Brian Ortega fight was submitted as one of the, like... I
Beat
saw
him for
this
pulp.
stat, though. He's taken an insane amount of headshots, Max Holloway, and he's only 29? 28, 29?
Yeah, right around
Yeah.
there.
And it's like, oh, my God. Oh, please, God, watch over Max Holloway.
He hasn't been knocked out, though, has he? I don't think.
Oh, he's been dazed.
He got knocked out in training. He had a... if you remember that.
Yeah. And, dude, Cater, man, can crack.
True.
He can fucking crack.
But can Cater handle
The
forward
pressure?
pressure of Holloway? If Holloway has that forward pressure and, that what he had versus
Everyone.
Ortega, for a great
Yeah.
example, then it's just so hard to deal with, man.
I think it. I forget the guy's name, but he pieced the dude up. Did Max lose his debut or did he win his debut? He won.
It was a long time
It
ago.
was so long
don't
ago.
remember.
You forget. You know what I mean? But I think it might have been his debut where he just pieces the dude up. He lands. I counted. It was 9 punches before the ref stopped it, and they're some of the most cleanest punches. It's like, and that's how he is. You know what I mean?
A lot of volume.
He knows how to hit the button too.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I love when he points down in the middle. And he's like, "Let's go."
Yeah.
That shit's amazing. I hate to say it because I love Max Holloway. I hate to say it, but I think Cater's got it.
How does he win, you think? How does Cater win?
I'm going knockout.
What round? You think it's early?
Is it 5 rounds? It's
Yeah.
5 rounds?
Yeah.
4th round.
I had Max 4th round TKO.
Oh!
I think Max wears on him until he
dude, which
stops
very
him.
well could happen. So
Mhm.
could happen. I love the fight game.
I'm with you on the championship rounds. I'll go 5th round. I'll go unanimous decision. I'll go by decision, and it's gonna be
that's
Max
smart.
Holloway peppering him the whole time. But he's gonna take shots, but he's
Yeah.
not gonna get knocked out. And I think, dude, his experience in those championship fights,
He's got great cardio.
He does. Ah, man.
I can't doubt Cater though too.
Yeah.
He's gonna.
I
Bring
can
it.
see all these situations happening. That's what I love about UFC.
I don't want to see Holloway lose.
Neither do I. Neither do I. It depends on me. Is it focused Max Holloway? He does a lot. The guy does a lot.
Yeah.
What more does he have to prove?
He wants that belt
He
back.
wants that belt back.
And I think he wants to fight. He went up to lightweight before. I think he might want to do that again. Especially as he's getting older, it's
The
harder
weight
to lose the
cuts.
weight. And so if he can go in there as champ again, there's no Khabib now, and
Yeah.
who knows? Maybe he'll fight for that lightweight championship.
Well, we'll see.
Hmm.
This fucking Saturday. I can't wait.
I know. I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's a good card.
Yeah.
It's great to be back.
It is
It
great
feels
to
like
be
it's been
back.
too long.
Fucking way too long. And this whole month of fights, I wish we had more time to talk about it.
Hmm.
We'll get you back on.
Yeah. Just to mention, first UFC fights on ABC too.
That's
This is
right.
history.
That's right.
History.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
We'll take it.
Hmm.
Hey, everyone. I hope you enjoyed with our friend Josh. We're excited that he's finally on. Thank you, Josh, for finally being on.
Yes,
bud.
thank you for having me. It was fun.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. You all take it easy. Josh, you take it easy.
Take it easy, brother. Thanks again for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you.